Hello friends, endotracheal suction or tracheostomy suction is an invasive procedure which has to be performed aseptically and systematically. Here in this video we shall discuss certain points which your staff should know, whosoever is handling the patient on ventilator and doing endotracheal suction. Have a look. At the end I would also demonstrate how to do the endotracheal suction in a patient or the pediatric patient who's been ventilated. Before we discuss about the procedure itself, certain things which we should know. Number one is frequency, or how often one should do the endotracheal suction. There is nothing like a time scheduled way of doing suction. There has been trial published where they did suction on particular time, but as far as the current practice is concerned, as in when required, you feel that the patient is agitated, your SATs are going down, you auscultate the findings of having secretions, and that's the time where you have to do the endotracheal suction. Second point to remember is that always pre-oxygenate the patient before attempting a suction, because kids who many times have less reserve, so either you have to hyperoxygenate, not to hypoventilate. So either you can give 100% oxygen from the ventilator for 1 minute or 2 minutes and then attempt the suction, or you can ask your assistant to do a bag with 100% oxygen, so that patient has some reserve and does not desaturate while you are attempting a endotracheal suction. A third point to remember is that the pressure. Make sure that the pressure is not too high or is not too less. Ideally 50 to 150 millimeter of mercury pressure is what required. When there is very thick secretion, or that time you might go up to 200 but you have to check the suction pressures up to 100 to 150 millimeter of mercury. Also to remember is that when the secretion is not coming, you should not keep on doing, because what it would do, that it would cause the lung atelectasis would happen, and you end up, a patient may become hypoxemic because of that. The next is the catheter size. So basically you have to select a catheter size which covers more than 50% of the internal diameter of your ET tube. If too small catheter is used, then you may not be able to suck out all the secretions, and you might have to attempt again and again. Also too big, you may not go in. Next is what depth you have to select, or how deep you should go. So there were 2 trials published, and on like randomized trial were published on the one was where when it went too deep, even beyond the tip of ET up to the carina, and in other it was inside till the tip of the ET. What they found was that there was no much difference, but when you go way beyond the tube, there are chances of mucosal injury because of the pressures which you are applied directly. Bleeding, those things were seen. So ideally you should put your catheter till the depth of the it should not go beyond the tip of the endotracheal tube. Another important aspect to discuss is about whether to open a suction system or the closed suction system is to be used. A closed suction system has advantage of less contamination, then less risk of loss of lung volumes in patients of ARDS, or you have recruited the lungs. So there are advantages of having a closed suction system in your unit, as compared to the open, where we disconnect and then we do the suction. Another point is to till what time you should be inside the tube. So you should not be more than 10 seconds to 15 seconds in one particular attempt. Reason being, again, the reserves would go, the suction would cause atelectasis, and childhood or the patient would become hypoxemic because of that. If it requires more, then you can always reattach the patient on ventilator or ambu-bag for a while, and then attempt it again for the same 10 seconds. Another interesting thing was to instill normal saline with each and every suction. So again, for that also there are studies have been performed. What my practice is that we don't put in each and every patient with normal saline every time with all the suction, but if the secretions are thick, we tend to give the put the normal saline and then do the suction. But what they found that normal saline and the mucus, they are in the different interface, so they usually doesn't cause the easier of the suctioning. And on the top of that, many times it end up contaminating the other part of the lung, because you do put that in bag. So in my practice, I put only when the secretion is thick and is not coming, so we put it, bag it, and then try to suck out the secretions. So this was about the what all things, certain points which we should keep, or which we teach our staff when they if they are doing the suction, or our junior doctors. Procedure, first and foremost, it's a sterile procedure. You have to wash hands thoroughly and wear the sterile gloves. Also keep the eyes of the patient covered, because then the exposure conjunctivitis or that can happen, so better to cover the eyes of the patient. Or you'll need one assistant or your staff to help you, because once you're done the sterile gloves, you cannot touch here and there. And then after that, doing that, you check the pressure, you check the catheter size, pre-oxygenate the patient, and then while going in, you have to block the catheter, go in, and while coming out, you have to, in a rotator motion, you have to come out, so that any mucus plugs or anything is get sucked out. Also vital needs to be monitored, heart rate, saturations needs to be seen at the time of doing the suction. Once it is done, you reattach the patient to the ventilator and monitor again for some time. Many times you might have to recruit the lungs. If you have already recruited with giving high PEEP, and you with this act of suction, you tend to lose that recruitment, and you might require little higher settings for quite some time to come back to the original setting pre-suction. So you might have to increase your PEEP for some time, pressures for some time, and then get back to your original values. So this was about the endotracheal suction. We'll demonstrate it on one patient, and then we see. Also, I forgot to mention that give adequate analgesia and make sure that patient or child is well sedated, because it's a painful procedure at the end of the day. When it touches it goes beyond your endotracheal tube. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching this video. This was in brief about endotracheal suction. Same procedure is for tracheostomy suction. Thank you very much for watching this video.